take. How you know he take baths every day? He might not take baths.
He better take baths every day with his funky self.
Yeah, he might be taking.
Hello, incredible ones. Darnyelle Jervey here, excited to welcome you to another episode of Incredible Factor TV. Now, if you ask me, this is the place you must be if you want to learn how to grow your business, period. It is the final week of the month, and you know what we do on the final week of the month. We invite our creative director, Blake, to ask me a question, any question. Every single month, I'm scared because I have no idea what he's going to ask me. He's really good at coming up with those off-the-wall questions that really make me think and just question everything. So let's see what he has for us this month.
Yep, it's your boy, E.T. I'm playing. I'm sorry, I was going to do that.
He's so crazy.
All right, Darnyelle.
Yes.
Came a long way.
I have come a long way.
You have come a long way.
I have.
Now, I'm even giving this question for personal reasons.
Okay.
I do believe in order to reach a certain level of greatness, not success, because I think success is self-determined, but greatness requires huge, great, and almost life-changing sacrifices.
Sacrifices. Okay.
Talk a little bit about what was your biggest sacrifice you had to make, and how, like, you had to think about it, like if it was involved in, like, do I let go of this relationship I have with my mother, my brother, my sister, or my friend, or what was that biggest emotional sacrifice?
Oh, emotional sacrifice. Wow. Like I told you, he's always asking me these questions. So great question. And I think of the Bible verse, to whom much is given, much is required. And I think that if you understand the divine assignment and the divine mandate that you've been given to live out on this planet, then you know that in order to do that, you're going to have to give up something, right? So, biggest sacrifice, like I'm struggling with that because I feel like
that emotional, like,
yeah, I'm struggling with what the emotional sacrifice was. But the only thing that really comes into my mind, and I was actually having this conversation with a good girlfriend just last week, actually, it has to be the family thing, right? So, my family is as dysfunctional as most people's families. But my parents and my siblings, they all have merits as well as they, have cons, right? Pros and cons. But I think I made a decision very early in my life to go get it no matter what. Like, I looked at what was happening around me, and there was a lot of stuff happening around me. And I just decided that I didn't want that for myself. And I won't go into the specifics of what those things were. I mean, use your imagination. You could probably be dead on about what I'm talking about. So I personally decided that I was going to use education. That was like my first conscious decision that I made very early, was that, as I looked to the left and as I looked to the right, it just didn't feel good to take the path that some of the people who had gone before me had taken. And so I decided that I was going to use education. That choice to focus on my education and become a star student, to get a scholarship to college, immediately created a divide in my family. So the emotional sacrifice wasn't as hard as it may be for some other people. So to the conversation I was having with one of my good girlfriends, who still is dealing with the guilt and the shame that her family places on her when she decides to be successful. And I don't really deal with that. I see it, like it's there, but I don't tap into it. I don't give it any foothold in my life because I know who I am, I know whose I am, and I know what I'm here to do. And I know that to whom much is given, much is required. And so I kind of operate at a level in belief in God and belief in myself that no matter what it is that I'm presented with, it's designed for my good, and it was created for me to go over it or around it to get to where I want to be. So greatness for me is ever evolving. I'm not there yet. Like at every level, there's going to be a new level of greatness to aspire to, a new level of excellence. But deciding to focus on myself, right? It's like when you get on a plane and they say, Should the cabin lose pressure, an oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling, secure your mask before helping those who are on the journey with you. I take that to heart. And so emotionally, I have kind of protected myself because I focus on number one. And yes, that means sometimes I am selfish, and I don't always apologize for that. Now, I'm not above apologizing, but it's most important to me that me, number one, this amazing change agent for this world, has what she needs. And so emotionally, I'm willing to take the hit if friends and family fall by the wayside as a result of it. I think that people allow their families to guilt and shame them into staying well connected when they don't have to. And I get to choose. I entirely choose. If I want to hang around certain people, I do. If I don't, I don't. And it's a personal decision. So I think, Blake, you have to decide the same thing, or anybody who is struggling with living out their greatness and are allowing the fear of living out their greatness to keep them from the love of their loved ones. If you're making that a real fear and a reality for you, I just encourage you to check it for what it really is. And don't get me wrong, I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and love and acceptance is something we're all wanting. I want it too. But who has to say the love and acceptance have to come to the people that you're blood related to, right? It could come from anywhere. It just depends on where you put yourself. And I'm only, just as a sidebar and as a caveat, I'm just saying this: if you have had to make an emotional sacrifice and get rid of, to Blake's point, family, or, leave friends from back in the day behind in order to get to your greatness, don't apologize for that. Know that, especially if you did it decently and in order. You don't have to be, an asshole. Sorry, there's really no other way to say that, in order to remove people from your life. If you did it in a way that God would be pleased with it, feel good with it, stand in that, and go get it. Go get your greatness, because that's what you're here for. I don't even know if I answered his question. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure you join me for the after party that goes down on our blog, and let me know, did I even answer his question? Did I offer you any insight into how to deal with the emotional sacrifices that you need to make on your climb to greatness? And if so, I want to hear from you. I also want to hear your 2 cents. Like, what has been your emotional sacrifice? If you're courageous enough to share, because it does take a lot of courage to comment on a blog like this about what you've been through or what you were willing to give up in order to go to where you want to go. But here's what I know. If you're willing to keep looking forward and to not look behind, everything that you desire is within your reach. In fact, it's already here. You may not have manifested it yet, but you're literally on the verge of getting it, as long as you continue to progress through to greatness. So go get your greatness. I really like that. Go get your greatness. That's kind of cool. I might become a new hashtag. Go get your greatness. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor and subscribe. You can do it right here by hitting the subscribe key. Then go ahead, use social media to share it with your friends, fans, and followers. I have a feeling this one might get some good feedback. And if you are ready to grow your business and you know you need help to get to where you want to be, I want to invite you to get your hands on our free audio CD, The 7 Critical Mistakes That Even Smart Entrepreneurs Must Avoid for Clients, Connection, and Cash Flow. This CD is really powerful, and it will put you on the path to just going to get your greatness. It will show you some of the mistakes that you're making that you can stop making so that you can start making more money. It'll also get you access to our community, the Incredible Factor community, and you'll get to hear from my team so we can see if we can support you in your journey to go and get your greatness. This has been Darnyelle A. Jervey from Incredible Factor TV, saying be better, be stronger, and more than anything, be incredible. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.